Don't get tired yet, Spyro. We still got a lot of work to do. Hello, everyone. Artemu the... Whoops, sorry. Alright, that probably got picked up there. Ugh. Hello, everyone. Artemu the Violet Wizard here. And today we are continuing Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage on the Reignited Trilogy. Last time we arrived in the land of Avalar, which is currently under siege by the evil sorcerer Ripto. And it's now our job to visit the many different realms around Avalar in order to gather talismans in order to be able to stop him and his minions. We already got some good progress taking care of a few of the worlds that we can see around this area. And we just got a few things to do left in Summer Forest before we're ready to take on the big fight at the end of this area. So the next thing we're going to be doing is going to head off to this level over here, Sunny Beach. Let us dive right on in and do this. Run, turtles! Run as slow as you can! Alright, this world's gonna be interesting.
Hi, Spyro. It's a good thing you're here. If you can help shepherd those baby turtles over there to safety, I'd be mighty grateful.
So the gimmick of this level is that we got these baby turtles over here, and... God, I do not really like the design of these things. They are so freaky when they don't have shells. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, our gimmick for this area is escorting these baby turtles over to the end of the level. Of course, we also got a bunch of other objectives we can complete around here. Though, sadly, we're not going to be able to do everything in this area on our first visit. There are also some chests over here that also have some baby turtles that actually have shells on. Seriously, this game can be pretty inconsistent with its rules sometimes. So, yeah, looks like there's still some other things we can do around here. If we head over this way. So you have a good chunk of this area is going to be spent just taking care of a lot of different objectives around this area. Yeah. Want to watch out for those blue guys, as they have these staves that conduct electricity, and that will be a pretty bad hazard to get hit by. Also, these cute little starfish guys that are serving as the fodder for this area. So you can take those guys out if you need to replenish your health. So I think we got everything we need in the starting area here, so I guess it's time to follow the baby turtles through this pipe and try to head to another area here. Of course, we'll want to take out as many enemies as we can here so that we can get a power-up. Why are you guys electrocuting each other? Aren't you on the same side? Whatever. It's got a lot of baddies to take care of and a lot of other things to also do. I believe the big chests there are something that requires the super flame to be able to take out. I know this because the actual power-up we get in this area is the super flame. But seeing as how this is a new game plus run, we are gonna have to... Well, we have the ability to solve most of the things around here on our first visit, which is pretty good. Although there's still some other things we won't be able to take care of. As we can see, if we go over this way, there is a ladder that we do not have the ability to climb at the moment. So we're not going to be able to gather everything on our first visit here. But we should still be fine to go forward and complete most of our objectives here. Oh, I guess those guys technically count as big foes. So you'll want to flame them. I believe this room want to stand on this switch, which opens up the door, allowing us to hit that chest over there. So that's definitely integral to some of the things that we can do here. We also got this wise old turtle here.
The water workers have captured most of our baby turtles, and the boxes they put them in are incredibly strong. With a more powerful flame attack, maybe you could break open the boxes and release them.
Now, luckily, we already have that power. So, yep, the ability you would get from that gate over there is normally where you would get the Super Flame. However, since we have the Super Flame by default, we don't really need to worry too much about that. Yeah, just use your fire to break all these large boxes, and you should be good. Yeah, you can see over there that there's some gems that we're not going to be able to reach until much later, as we obviously have a lot of other things to take care of. Oh, we missed a purple gem over here? Huh, weird. This next part over here, I believe, is a little bit tight. So you needed to go underwater here and then very quickly rush on over here, I believe, in order to get to one of the chests you need to break. However, we don't really need to worry about that, because we already have Super Flame. And we're actually pretty close to our end goal over here. Just gotta blast this guy in order to move him over. Yeah, the theming of this area is pretty nice. I obviously like these very tropical-looking areas. And this area being themed around turtles is certainly quite nice. I do, in fact, like turtles, even though these guys look so weird. Why don't you have shells?
Thank you, young dragon. The baby turtles will be safe up here. Please take this talisman as a token of our gratitude.
So by bringing the babies over here, we're able to get ourselves the talisman for Sandy Beach. Now, I'm just going to be gathering a few of the other things we can over here. We're not able to fully complete this area, as I said before, but at the very least we can gather a couple more gems, which would be useful for later. Actually, we have over 1,200 gems at this point, so...
Most impressive. Please take this sacred thingamajig as a token of our everlasting gratitude.
I will gladly take your thingamajig, my guy. That gets us another orb by saving all the wee turtles. So yep, there should be a couple more gems we could get, but we pretty much cleared up all the main objectives we need to worry about here on our first visit to this area. As I said before, we're going to have to wait until much later before we're able to fully complete this area. For the most part, we can still gather quite a bit. I can see some more gems over here by this guy. And as you can obviously tell, it's another area we can't reach at the moment.
Hello, young one. There's a chef up at the top of this ladder who wants to make soup out of our turtles. Maybe you could climb up there and stop him?
I have never had turtle soup myself. I do hear it's kind of a delicacy in some areas, but I don't know. I never really viewed turtles as potential food, you know? It's coming from the guy who, like, eat most meat that is served to him. With that, we've cleared up the story here in Sandy Beach and got ourselves the talisman. Alright, a pretty breezy visit to this world. Trust me when I say some of the worlds in this game are going to get a lot more complicated. This is still the first area of the game, so obviously they're going to be a bit easy on us during this stage of the adventure. So now, the next thing we're going to want to do is head over here to the Ocean Speedway. So this is a very special type of level, and if you're as familiar with the original Spyro 1 as I am, you probably know what the deal here is going to be. So the Speedway here is a racing stage. where we have a bunch of objectives that we're able to complete here within a set time limit. And we're going to want to complete all of these objectives before moving along here. So yeah, the thing with this area, the objectives here, we have 4 main missions we gotta complete by going through some hoops or these gates, or by taking out some enemies around here. Managed to take care of most of the stuff here, so I want to be very careful not to fall in the water, as doing so will automatically end our little escapade here. But we should be pretty good at taking care of most of the things around here. You do get additional time when you're doing these missions, which is obviously very helpful when dealing with some of the threats around here. And in order to fully complete this stage and gather all the gems you can, you want to complete all 4 objectives in a single run, as I did. So because we were able to go through all the arches and rings and take out all the enemies in boats and cars, we have fully completed this area. However, there is also another thing we can do in the speedway courses in this game compared to how things were back in the original Spyro. So what we want to do is hit retry, and doing so will put us in basically a time trial version of this stage, where you can be encouraged to try and get as high of a score as you can, just trying to complete all these objectives in as short a time as you can, if you so desire.
Yes, now you think you're pretty good. Well, let's see if you're as good as the current champion.
However, we also have a new objective we can do here by talking to this fine fishy lady. I'm ready to race.
All right, Spyro. Meet the course champion. In order to win the race, you must fly through all the rings. But beware, if Hunter flies through a ring first, the ring will start to shrink.
So we got ourselves a mission here where we got to follow after Hunter and complete this mission. It's really not too bad. Just gotta follow along behind him and go into whatever ring that he enters in order to finish this objective. So I quite like these bonus games that we have involving our interactions with Hunter here. Also pretty cool that Hunter has this like set of mechanical wings while he's going through these courses. It's a pretty cool tool for him to use. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they use Hunter pretty well for the different mini games that we have to do throughout this adventure. And this one's pretty simple. Just follow behind this flying cheetah and get through all the rings. You do have to be pretty quick about this, but as long as you are good at navigating through the course, you should have very little trouble. Ooh. Really love the visuals in this game, but sometimes the bright lights can be a little disorienting. We should be pretty close to the end here. Just a few more we gotta take care of. Alright, last 3 rings. Let's take these out. There we go.
Great job, Spyro. That was some excellent flying.
And by completing that mini-game here, we are able to obtain an orb. And with that, we have now fully completed the Speedway. As we can see there, now that we've gathered all the gems here, as well as the orb, we are done. So let's enter the guidebook, and we're just going to warp on back to Summer Forest. Yep, this is also a nice feature with the game. You can warp to any level you have previously visited or the hub worlds by accessing the guidebook. That is certainly very nice if you want to quickly go to an area that you want to explore. And we do have to backtrack a little bit to get where we need to go again, but it's not going to take too much time to backtrack. Also, I just love the look of this area in particular. Just the way the lighting is reflecting off the water, just causing that shimmering effect all over the walls of this room. It's so flippin' beautiful. I say this all the time, but I feel that the Reignited trilogy is just one of the most gorgeous remakes I have ever seen. And like, the original games also have a pretty good art direction in general. Just to kind of prefer the visuals over these games, even though the originals are still very satisfactory to go through with their visual design. But now that we've taken care of our objectives with the Speedway and Sunny Beach, we got ourselves another major area to explore before we go face a boss. So we're gonna head off to Aquaria Towers. This one is gonna be pretty tricky to go through. Aw, poor guy.
The funny-looking guys with the shock sticks have drained all our water. We can't get it back unless someone activates the switches they're guarding.
So the gimmick with this area is that this location has been drained of all of the water here. And we're gonna need to find a way in order to fill this area up with water again in order to get to our final objective here. So yeah, we're gonna wanna hit these switches. There's a bunch of them all over the place, and they will naturally add water into these areas. Of course, we can see the water has only been filled up this much, so we're gonna need to do a lot more if we're gonna get through here. So yeah, this whole area is about filling it up with water so that you're able to achieve your objectives around here. And there is quite a bit we can see in this area, so we're definitely going to be doing a lot here. Also, there's this red seaweed you can find around here. I believe you can break those in order to get a skill point, but you need to break a lot of them. Also, I love that the sheep around here, they're wearing a little scuba helmet in case this area gets flooded. That's always a fun little detail whenever they give those added details to a character in a certain area. Yeah, you want to be thorough when exploring this area, because there are so many hidden gems and stuff all around this place, and if you're not careful, you can easily miss out on a gem that's in an area that can be easily missable. Around here, we got some on these little precipices. And around here, I believe, yeah, if you just want to look around the towers and stuff, and we can see that there's some mechanical sharks over here. Since we have the Super Flame, we are actually able to take these guys out, which is certainly helpful. So I believe Super Flame is the ability we're able to acquire in this area, so it would certainly be helpful with taking out some of those enemies. But naturally, I already have this ability, so we don't need to worry about it. Alright, let's take out this crabby guy here and get a bunch of goodies this way. Yeah, really showcasing just how much stuff is hidden around here. Definitely want to be careful and thorough with exploring these areas. And also make good use of Sparx, since he naturally has gem radar abilities. Alright, so we're gonna need to get back up there. So we'll just swim on up, and we should be good. I believe there's some more gems up near that tower, but we'll leave that for now and dive on down here. Oh, looks like we got another electric enemy to deal with here. Definitely want to be careful of these guys. Luckily, we can take them out from a distance, which is certainly very helpful to us. Okay, we can rise back up here, and oh boy, look who it is.
Hi, Spyro. You must be tougher than you look to get here. All the same, you won't be able to get past the metal sharks up ahead. I suppose I could let you borrow my submarine, though. For a modest fee, of course.
So gotta pay 100 gems to Moneybags to use the submarine. Honestly, not that bad considering the amount of gems we were able to collect here in the summer forest.
A pleasure doing business with you, Spyro. This submarine is 100% shark-proof. I guarantee it.
Part of me still wants to try and attempt a minimalist run of this game where I only acquire enough gems in order to get to the end. But, you know, I also have that completionist mentality where I want to try and do as much as I can whenever I play these games. But yep, you're able to ride the submarine there in order to access this area past the mechanical sharks. So yep, you do have to pay the toll with Moneybags in order to do this, but honestly, it's not that bad. The amount of gems you need to pay in order to do that isn't that much. So, it's all good. But now that we're over here, I actually want to double back through that area we took the submarine through, as there's a bunch of stuff we can do in here. We could just get munched on by that metal shark. Okay. Alright, that actually reset the water, because Zoe didn't save our progress. So, we gotta bring the water back up again. Alright, let's attack these guys from a distance so we don't have to worry about them. Again, you're expected to use the Super Flame power in this area, so that's why I'm able to take these guys out so easily. And we also got a few more over here by the submarine. Just blast them apart. Very good. Now let's grab the last of the goodies down here. Also want to check that room we were just at before to make sure there isn't anything else we need. It seems like we've done all we can do in this section underwater. Alright, let's head back to the submarine area. Since we've already paid the fee, we can take the submarine at any time through this area. Looks like there isn't anything else we need around here. Oh, there is a crab we can take care of up here. Just take out that drab little crab, and we should be good to be on our way. So while we're doubling back, what's some stuff that we can talk about? Well, I'm currently on a day off from work, and I've definitely been taking a good amount of time just doing what I want to today. For instance, I went downtown for lunch, and I grabbed myself some ramen at this place that I really like to visit. So that was definitely very fun and enjoyable for me. So now that we got the water back up here, we should be able to get this objective done by talking to you.
Our world is wet again. We all want you to have this talisman of Aquaria Towers to remember us by.
So yeah, by helping out the seahorses here by restoring the water, we get ourselves another talisman. However, we still have a lot we can do in this area, so we are not quite done here. So yep, also showing here that there is indeed a Super Flame Gate. Alright, so here in Aquaria Towers, the next thing we want to take care of is I want to double back to the earlier room I was in before, just so I can make sure that we've gathered everything we can. Because now that the water level is higher up here, should be able to grab, yep, there is a purple gem up here we can grab. And I'm pretty sure that's everything we need around here. Also some stuff involving these columns we'll probably want to focus on, but I believe we've done everything we need to around here. So we gotta head back to the start of this area for our next objective. Oh, really? These are back? Get out of here. Again, I'm not going after the skill points, but they are something you want to watch out for if you are interested in them. Alright, so next thing we want to do is look for this hole in the ceiling. This will take us to the upper section of the sea that's not confined to the lower levels. So this open area has a lot of gems for us to get, so you definitely want to hunt all over the place to get these bad boys. Alright, I believe I was talking about some stuff before. But yeah, I went downtown in order to grab some ramen for lunch, and it was so flippin' good. It's like, it's a shop that I tend to visit every now and then, because I really like the quality of the food there. The restaurant was actually a little busier today than it tends to be whenever I visit it. So, that was certainly, there was something. But, you know, it still wasn't too bad. Like, it was certainly a lot noisier than I tend to see it, but it was still really good food, you know? We got another gem over here. Yep, some more we can grab this way. And is there anything else on the lower section here? I think... yeah, we got some jars over here we can break. And I'm not too sure how many more in this area. We could always use Sparx in order to home in. Oh, yep, there is a gem we can grab. And that's the last one in Aquaria Towers. All right. So now it's time to take care of some of the other objectives we can do here. If we go over to Hunter, who's wearing some scuba gear.
I've been trying to tame my new pet manta ray, but he just won't obey me. Hey, you're just about the right size to ride on his back.
All right, time to get up on the Ray's
Hop on his back and guide him through each of the bubble rings as they appear. And remember, he's brand new, so try not to get him dented or scratched up.
So got ourselves a bit of a racing segment here. Just gotta follow the seahorse and go through the rings of bubbles. Honestly, not too bad. Also, just love the theme of this area of obviously dealing with a lot of sea creatures.
Well done. I suppose I owe you something for that. Here, take this orb. I found it in one of my flippers.
Thanks for that, buddy. That's another orb.
Now that the manta ray's tamed, I'd love to get him into racing shape. Care to take him through a harder course?
Sure thing, buddy.
Okay, good luck.
Alright, so let us do this. So I've always wanted to get to see things like manta rays or stingrays in the wild, because I've always had an affinity for sea creatures throughout most of my life. So I've definitely had quite a few nice experiences whenever I go on vacation to some very tropical areas. I've gone to swim next to sea turtles before, and that was an amazing experience.
Incredible! You've got real talent. I could use a partner like you. You can have the orb I found in my other flipper, too.
And by completing that racing course, we get ourselves another gem. Thank you for that, Hunter. So now we've done that, we got ourselves another thing we gotta take care of over here. Excuse me.
The water workers have kidnapped 6 of my children and have hidden them in the top of each of these numbered towers. I borrowed some explosives to blast open the tower doors. If you can make it to the top of the 6 numbered towers, my children will be safe.
So now our mission here is to find the seahorse children inside of the towers. These ones you gotta be a little careful with, as these towers will naturally have some traps we gotta deal with, specifically electricity. And of course you also need to track down the towers all throughout this area, but thankfully we should be able to get this done. We we've already gone to see a good number of the places we need to visit while we've been through here, so we should do pretty well. First, I'm gonna grab another butterfly here by taking out that sheep. I love the running gag in the series that sheep tend to be the main guys that are always getting taken out by Spyro and the other dragons, so that's always just a fun little thing. Even the first boss in Spyro 1 was a sheep, which, you know, is kind of rebelling against the dragons for their treatment of sheep over the years, you know? Alright, this one is almost... Ow! Come on! I hit the brakes there. So now we gotta get to Tower 5. So I believe that one, we need to head this way. And just trying to hit that sheep. Alright, let's grab that butterfly. Then we need to find Tower 5. So I believe should be over here. Yep. So I got some crabs to deal with in here, but it's not too bad. We've already dealt with plenty of these guys before. And now we gotta get to tower number 6, which I believe we can get to over this way. Right, we need to take the submarine path, which should be thankfully clear of any horrifying mechanical monstrosities. And this brings us to Tower 6, where our final objective awaits. Alright, just rush on up, and we are done.
You did it! Now we can swim in peace. I heard that you're collecting orbs. Please, take this one.
And by completing that mission for King Flippy, we get ourselves another orb. And I believe that means we are done with this area. Yep. Managed to get all the orbs and the gems, so we are good to move on. Let's go through the portal and get on out of here. Well, good luck evading that, buddy. Oh boy, we are over 2,000 gems at this point. It's definitely a good amount to have by this point in the adventure. And now that we've taken care of that, that should be everything we can do in Summer Forest for the time being. There's a few areas we still need to go back to for later, but we've done pretty much everything we can here for the time being. So, it's time to finish up our journey here by taking on the boss.
Well done, Spyro. Now that you have 6 talismans, this door will open.
So now that the path is open, now that we possess 6 of the talismans we need, it's time to head to the dungeon.
Before you get to the castle dungeon, Spyro, I thought that you might want to know how Ripto and his monsters arrived in Avalar. You see, last week in the winter tundra, the professor was working on some new super portal technology.
There, that's the last orb in place. Now let's see. All we need are some coordinates.
Yeah? How about 22475? That's my birthday.
No, Hunter, don't!
What?
Get off me, you useless buffoons! Why can't either of you? Where are we? No dragons? Wonderful. Crush, go back and pack my bags. We're moving in. Say hello to your new king.
Professor, shut it down! Hurry!
Oh my, I can't see the switch. I think I've broken my glasses.
Crush, go through the portal, you idiot!
Tell all your friends to take the orbs and scatter them throughout Avalar. Quickly!
Now! Go! Crush, get the orbs now! Now, you despicable little creature! I'll kill you!
This is bad news for Avalar. Hunter, why didn't you chase him?
Yeah. I would have gone after him, but didn't he say something about not liking dragons?
Professor, could we catch a dragon to help us?
Yes, I think so. We'll need a world that has an alignment much better suited to intercepting one of these creatures. How about Glimmer?
So yep, apparently Hunter is the reason why Ripto is here in Avalar. Thanks for that, buddy. Anyway, we got ourselves our first boss fight against Crush. This one really isn't too bad. See, he's going to be positioning himself around these areas, and you want to quickly avoid the shockwaves he does, and then blast him when he is outside of the barriers. And that is how we're going to be doing damage to this guy. It's really not that bad of a fight. Just to get the timing right, and you should be good. Now, since I do have the Super Flame, this does mean I can attack enemies from a distance, which can make these boss fights a bit easier. I am going to try to do these fights the more of the legit way. But, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Honestly, this guy isn't too bad. I will give Spyro 2 this, and one of its improvements it does is with boss fights, compared to how things were back in Spyro 1. Like, I definitely feel the presentation here with Crush is a lot better than how things were against, like, Toasty or Blowhard from the first game. This is a pretty good fight. Oh, we didn't get that hit there. Alright, he's going to be doing Shockwave since he's at the blue barrier. And blast! Damn, I missed. Alright, he's going to do the Fireball attack. Oh, come on. We almost got this. Take that. So yeah, once he gets down quite a bit of health, he will start to charge at you. So just evade him and you should be good. Fireballs. Take that. Just got him down to one last life. Should be just about done here. There we go.
What? No, Crush! You may have been able to defeat that simpleton, but Golf will be more than a match for you.
Bring it on, Shorty.
Golf, come here now! Destroy him, and make sure it's painful. What? Golf, get me out of here! So long, dragon.
What a wuss.
By the power of reading, we have freed the castle. So yep, we were able to defeat Crush, but Ripto and Gulp have managed to escape. So now we gotta chase after them.
That Ripto has caused enough damage. All his meddling has cost me a fortune. If it wasn't for Spyro, I'd be bankrupt. Oh, if Ripto were here, I'd give him a piece of my mind. In fact, I'd give him a lot more than that. I was a champion bantamweight boxer at university, and I still know a few moves. Take that! And that! No! Why, you...
So I think it's implied that Moneybags is the one who owns all the castles around Avalar. See, I don't know which is worse, Moneybags or Ripto. But either way, welcome to the next world, the Autumn Plains. This area, oh man, we're going to be here for a while. So we're going to start off by collecting as many gems as we can here. Now, there are a lot of levels that we can visit right off the bat, but we're going to save those for a bit later, as I definitely want to grab some of the things around here that we're able to get first. But yeah, but I find it interesting with what they hint at regarding Ripto, given, and they do establish that he has a hatred for dragons, and obviously had a very nasty reaction to seeing Spyro in the opening cutscene of the game. So that kind of implies that Ripto has encountered the dragons before at some point, and that they were responsible for stopping him from conquering other lands before. So yeah, definitely an interesting bit of history we're getting with this particular enemy. And obviously, we are the only one who is capable of stopping him and his forces. Which at this point is just, you know, gulp.
Legend has it that there is a portal to Zephyr here. And legend also has it that I know how to activate it. Furthermore, as I recall, the legend mentions something about me activating it for a small fee.
So once again, he is literally gatekeeping us. Luckily, we have plenty of gems, so we'll do this.
Thanks for the gems, Spyro. With all this cash, I can open a lizard burger shop in Skelos Badlands.
So that opens up the portal to Zephyr, an area we'll definitely get to see much later on.
Well done, Spyro. The power from your orbs has activated the whirlwind.
And we're able to activate this whirlwind thanks to the orbs we've collected. So I actually don't know how many orbs we need to do this, but at the very least we got it open. That opens a path to the Metro Speedway, an area we'll definitely take care of eventually. Just want to make sure we take care of all the different gems we can see around here at the moment, as well as get another thing that'll be quite useful to us in our journey here. So over here we got a portal that'll take us back to the Summer Forest, and actually shows how many orbs we still have to collect in that area, which I definitely appreciate. But oh boy, we got ourselves a ladder here and money bags. You can probably guess what this means.
Well. I bet a rich dragon like you wouldn't mind cashing in a few gems to learn how to climb. I'd be willing to teach you for, say, oh, I don't know, a small fee.
This is definitely well worth the price.
You won't regret it. Okay, when you see a wall surface that looks climbable, like the one to my left here, just jump onto it and you will grab it with your claws. Use the left stick to move up and down. Press the jump button again to leap off. You can also jump sideways onto another climbable area.
So now we have the ability to climb ladders. This is going to be very useful to us for being able to scale areas that we couldn't do before. And now we have this ability, we're actually going to be heading back into Summer Forest, as we now have the means of completing everything we can in the first area of the game. So, yep, that's definitely very good. So now that we're back in Summer Forest, we got ourselves a lot that we are able to do here. So first off, we want to fly over this way, as we want to go to the portal back into Glimmer, as we now have everything we need to be able to complete this area. So smash open that butterfly. So I forgot to mention it before, but you'll sometimes find butterflies inside these glass jars here. If you crack them open, they will actually give Spyro an extra life. So those are very handy if you're looking to gain some extra health when dealing with some of the threats ahead. But like I said, we have everything we need to complete Glimmer. So this is going to be a thing we're going to be doing all throughout our adventures. Once we have managed to acquire all the necessary abilities we need, we're going to be rushing all the way back to worlds we have previously visited, so that we're able to complete these objectives. Also, while we're visiting here, we will want to take out as many enemies as we can, as defeating enemies is the key to using our super abilities, which are going to be necessary in some of these levels. So while we're just dispatching with a lot of the things we have previously done here in Glimmer, on some other stuff I can mention. Well, I guess I could say that I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Legends ZA the last couple of days. Specifically, I've been going through the DLC content recently, which has definitely been pretty exciting for a number of reasons. For one, I think it's really cool how the DLC has you fighting Pokemon that are above level 100. That's a thing that's been in the Pokemon fan community and a lot of different fan projects for a good number of years. But actually seeing a Game Freak adding that into one of an official Pokemon game is pretty cool to see.
Head on up the ladder.
So now that we have the ability to climb, we are now able to go up here. And once you know it, there's more stuff for us to collect.
Hey, great! You've got the Superfly power-up active! Now you can light the gem lamps in this cave!
So this is one of the objectives that I said before you technically could do if you're like me and you already have the Super Flame power. But we are going to quickly grab this ability, and we want to light all of the torches that we can on the ceiling of this area. This really isn't too hard to take care of. Just watch your light power, and you should get this done pretty quickly.
Thanks for helping me light the lamp, Spyro. For a while, I was afraid we were gonna have to cancel tonight's baseball game. Here, somebody mix this orb in with the baseballs.
And with that, we have managed to acquire our last orb by helping out the gem cutters. And before we are done with this area, we're going to want to take our flight power over here, accessing this cliff that we did not have access to before. And with that, we have gathered all of the gems in Glimmer. So now we are fully complete this area. Very good. So now we can exit here and return to the Summer Forest. Yeah, anytime you want to quickly leave a level, you can do that from the menu, or just quickly warp to whatever level you also want to see. But since we still have some missions to complete in Summer Forest, I did want to come back into the hub world, as there's a bunch of other things that we want to take care of while we're over here. Now, for the next objective we're going to want to do, we have the ability now to complete Sunny Beach and do all those objectives. There's something else we can do in Summer Forest. So I believe we want to head back in this area and want to go to where we saw Elora standing next to a ladder over here. Yep, now we can climb up this ladder in order to get up here. On the one hand, I do like getting these abilities gradually over the course of the game, as they do make it pretty fulfilling in order to revisit older areas and gather things you wouldn't have been able to obtain before. But it can also be a little tedious having to go after so many things. And especially not being able to 100% certain levels until much later. I don't know, that's just kind of a personal thing that I have with regards to this game. There's still a couple gems we need to gather here, so we'll probably be relying on Sparx to tell us where to go. Something over this way. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a gem we needed to over here. I mean, we might have missed something. No, it's not over here. There is something we're missing. Alright, where are you leading me to, Sparx? Let's just take a little bit to get to. So I believe we're gonna want to head back underwater and go to the main area of Summer Forest again. Alright, where do we need to go, buddy? It's leading us over this way. There's nothing over here. It's telling us to go somewhere around here. Probably going to be missing something that's hiding in the water. Possibly. Or somewhere behind a tree. Oh, there it is. That was seriously the last gem I needed to get here in Summer Forest. And it was right here next to the portal to Glimmer. God, that is so embarrassing. But with that, we've now obtained everything we can in Summer Forest. Gotten all the gems as well as all the orbs. So now we can head back to Sunny Beach. And finally complete a mission involving the turtles that we have seen before. Gonna skip that cutscene because we do not need to see it again. And now it's time to take care of the turtles again. We are going to need to escort them a bit in order to do this next objective, but we should be fine. Ow! How dare you hit me? Little punks. Take that. Oh, there's a gem there I missed. Yeah, whenever you miss gems, it's always in one of the most embarrassing spots where you could have missed them. Hey, buddy, I need you to go over here and hit this switch. Sometimes the AI on these turtles can be a little finicky. They will typically run in the opposite direction of where you hit them, so that is a good way to direct these guys over where you need to. Also, those kids were kind of freaking out there for a second. Wonder what that was about. But now that we are able to climb, we can finally go up here in order to grab these gems that we couldn't access before. Very nice. And there's one more gem we can find here. Oh, there's a bunch of gems over here we missed. Thank you, Sparx, for letting me know that. Grab some extra health, please. Thank you. So at this point, we just need to head over to the end of the level, and we should be good to take on our next objective. So we want to head back over here where there was this ladder.
Hello, young one. There's a chef up at the top of this ladder who wants to make soup out of our turtles. Maybe you could climb up there and stop him?
I mean, I guess we should. No matter how delectable you turtles can be. got ourselves a big guy to take care of over here, but we want to dive into the water first and gather these gems. And with that, we've gathered all the gems in the sandy beach.
Your turtle friends will make a very good soup if I can catch them. You can try to save them if you like, but I'm feeling awfully hungry.
For whatever reason, this chef guy just reminds me of King Dedede. But yep, our mission here is to save the wee turtles. So our mission is pretty simple. Just gotta knock the turtles away from the cauldron. Do not let them go in because these guys are just have like no survival instincts. They will beeline straight for the cauldron. Just gotta knock them into the water and you should be good. Simple charge attacks are all it takes to knock them around, so you should be fine. And of course you can also flame them.
So you saved a few turtles. There are more where those came from. Here, take this orb and go away.
He's trying to bribe us so he can make free food. How awful. I got more to say to you, Buster.
If you step any closer to the pot, I'll start ringing my bell again.
So now we gotta do this mission again, only things are gonna be a bit harder. Honestly, shouldn't be too bad. Just knock the turtles away and you should be good. Also want to say while we're doing this mission, very recently I finished up some more art that I wanted to get done of an OC of mine that I came up with pretty recently, and I'm quite happy with the results so far. It was definitely pretty interesting because of the specific pose that I was drawing her in. It was kind of an awkward pose for me to get looking right. And I actually did need to look up some references in order to make sure that it was looking good. But I'm quite satisfied with how it turned out. And obviously I'm excited to eventually draw more of this particular character, because I quite like their design. Besides that, I've just also been kind of taking it easy pretty lately, but there's still some other games I've been playing recently that I've been having a lot of fun with.
Rats, you saved every turtle on the beach. Here, take this. I was gonna use it to buy potatoes, but now I don't need it.
And by saving the wee turtles, we get ourselves the orb. Now we can use it to buy potatoes, and you can't. So with that, we now have everything done in Sandy Beach. This really did not take us that long to be able to complete this area, huh? Well, with that taken care of, we can now return to Autumn Plains. Ah, man, it felt so good to finish up those objectives. Alright, so before we get started on the levels here in Autumn Plains, I do want to head up this ladder and try to collect a few more of the gems in this area. And also see if we can unlock a couple more levels that we can do. So we can also jump our way up the ladders if you want to quickly move through here. It's really not too bad to be able to access them. Oh, Scorch. That is definitely an interesting level over there that we'll want to keep in mind for later. Yeah, we want to explore as much of this area as we can and gather up all of these yummy gems.
Oh, Spyro, hello. I'm having trouble with this door, but I think some orb power might unstick it. Ah, I see you've collected a good number of orbs there.
So thanks to all the quests we've been doing, we have enough orbs to unlock this section of the map. Yeah, it is going to be pretty interesting when I eventually do a minimalist run of this game and figure out just what we need in order to be able to get to the end. Oh boy, we got money bags over
I can let you
here.
into the little castle over there in exchange for a few gems. What do you say?
This is gonna require 400. Honestly, not that bad. We already got a good supply of gems here.
No one's been through that portal in years. I never thought I'd find a sucker. I mean, you're a shrewd customer, Spyro.
And that unlocks the path to another area for us to visit, which is the Shady Oasis. Oh boy, I have opinions on that area, but we'll save that for when it becomes more relevant. We could also head this way, and look, there's Moneybags yet again! He's got more stuff in order to microtransaction out of us.
I would love to let you enter this speedway free of charge, Spyro. Love to. Unfortunately, the speedway rules require me to charge a small fee.
So now we gotta pay you 100 gems.
You've chosen wisely. I bet a quick dragon like you will win your money back in no time.
Yeah, only 100
Good
gems
luck in
for
the
this
races,
area?
Spyro.
Not bad.
I'm betting on you to win first place. Don't let me down.
For you, Moneybags, I will let you down indeed. So I love that you can attack him, but it doesn't really do too much. We gotta find a way to get our gems back from this bear. So we head over here. We should be pretty close to the end of this area. So we can find Elora here.
Spyro, Ripto and Gulp are hiding out in a sealed chamber in the castle below us. In order to get to them, you'll need all 14 talismans to break the lock.
So yep, in order to access the boss for this area, we gotta collect a total of 14 talismans. So yeah, that wants me to bring up a certain thing I want to say regards to this game, and that is the pacing of some of the levels here. It can be a little awkward. See, I may have noticed that there were 6 main levels in Summer Forest, and then there was a speedway area. Here in Autumn Plains, there are such an obscene amount of levels in this area compared to the first one. And when we eventually get to the last world, you'll see that that place only has a handful of levels for us to go through. For whatever reason, they just pack a bunch of levels into this specific part of the game. And I definitely believe that at one point in time, the developers of this game intended there to be 4 worlds in order to match the 4 seasons, and that naturally there would have been an area themed around spring. But yeah, that just never ended up happening. So I think they ran out of time in order to do that, so that is why we only have the 3 worlds, and Autumn Plains has so many levels packed into here. But yep, we were able to fly all the way over here thanks to just the high elevation we had there, which is quite nice, allowing us to grab an orb as well as a lot of gems. And want to be back on the roof because there is still more to see around here. So I believe the next thing I want to do is I want to try and get onto that wall over here. Yeah, there are quite a sizable number of secrets we can find around the Autumn Plains, as you can no doubt tell here. So now that we're on this wall, this should take us to a round where we can obtain the last gems in this area, as well as possibly another orb. And if not, we can always rely on our good pal Sparx to be able to get some of them. Yeah, we have this wall here that we can break open, getting ourselves the last of the gems in the Autumn Plains, as well as all the orbs. So now we have completed the hub area here in Autumn Plains. Very good. So now that we've taken care of that, how about we get started on some of the levels we can do around here? We are just over an hour into this stream session, so I feel like we have plenty of time to take care of some levels. So let's start off by going to Crystal Glacier. Aw, that poor caveman. So yep, we got ourselves a very cold area to explore around here. These guys are frozen, so there's only one thing to do with those. Set them on fire.
Spyro, the ice wizards have imprisoned our leader, Shaman Tuck. Can you help us rescue him? It is urgent. He has our tickets to tonight's hockey game in Colossus Valley.
Huh, you have a very similar voice to Ripto. I'm on to you. But yeah, this area is definitely going to be quite interesting.
If you get on the catapult, we'll help you across the chasm.
So we got ourselves the ice builders, which are being attacked by these ice wizards. And we need to help out these guys in order to get through this area. I want to show here, if you extinguish, if you try to free the ice builders here, that'll just cause the ice wizards to attack them again. So we're going to need to take care of the ice wizards if we want to save all of these guys. Also, peak character design right here. So the little fodder in this area are just snowballs with legs and eyes. Take that. You are too simple to allow to live. We also got these things here, where these jars have TNT, and you want to hit those at a distance in order to not be damaged by them. Thankfully, we were able to take care of that. And now that the Ice Wizards are defeated, we can free the Ice Builders.
Watch! We'll help you climb this wall up ahead.
Thank you for that, Iggy. It's very nice to see a character with that particular name, as I have quite a fondness for the name Iggy, as that's the name of not only my favorite Koopaling in the Mario series, but it's also the name of a Pokemon I've used in a previous run that I definitely have a lot of attachment to. If anyone has seen some of my Pokemon Nuzlocke comics, would obviously be able to piece that together. It's got these weird enemies over here. They're these snow hares that have these icicles where their noses should be. Yeah, quite the creative enemy design there. Yeah, you just want to take care of those guys before they ram into you. So now we gathered all of these goodies here. Got yet another rabbit to take out. And a few more of these. Then we want to head this way. Let's take out some more of these ice wizards. Definitely like the design of a lot of the enemies around here. They obviously had to redesign a lot of the characters here when they did the transition from the PlayStation 1 games to the Reignited Trilogy. And I quite like a lot of the different interpretations of these characters, especially the major ones.
Hello there, Spyro. I could arrange for you to cross this bridge for a small fee.
It's got to pay 200 gems for this bridge. Thankfully, we have a lot.
Thank you, Spyro. Now I can buy that condo in Hurricos I've been wanting for so long. Go ahead across the bridge.
Why would you want to build a condo in a place that's constantly storming? God. For once, paying moneybags here actually led to something I really like. Just the way this skeletal bridge affixes itself up there. Aw, man, just such a cool animation. I really like that thing. But over in this area, we got ourselves a challenge we gotta take care of. But that's gonna have to wait until after we have acquired some more orbs from killing enemies. So let's just move on to deeper into this area. And you can also ram into the rabbit guys in order to take them out. Despite the fact that they have a frickin' icicle in front of their face, it's still perfectly fine to ram them with your horns. Yeah, that was certainly an idea there. I guess I should be grateful that these enemies aren't too hard to take out. Ooh, grab another life there. And we should be pretty close to finishing up the main story of this area. If we free these guys.
Just hold tight for a second, and look out below!
So, by saving all of the ice builders, what are we going to see happen here? Gonna roll that snowball, and... Damn!
Oh, you'd think those guys could have got me out of here without rolling a 2-ton snowball onto my head. Here, take this crystal. I traded some hockey tickets for it.
So with that, we were able to save the shaman Tuck, getting ourselves another talisman. Alright. But we are not quite done here in this area, because there is still a lot that we need to get done here. Yeah, the levels here in Autumn Plains are going to be a lot more involved compared to the areas we have previously seen in the other area. Alright, so first thing I want to do is I want to backtrack over this way, as there is something under the bridge we're able to take care of now that we've been beating some of the enemies around
We
here.
used to give guided tours of these caves, but now they're infested with multiplying draklets. It's only a matter of time before they take over our whole village. You think you can get rid of them for us?
Sure thing, Tick.
Great! But remember, you have to catch them all quickly, because if any are left alive, they will continue to multiply.
So we got ourselves a lot of enemies we gotta take care of in this area. The draklets. You want to try and kill them as quickly as you can. Use your fire breath to take them out, and yeah, you want to be quick about this, because these guys will start to multiply after a while. And yeah, they respawn quickly, so you want to try and take them all out in one go through this area. Use the light power to be able to quickly get through this place, and you should have a pretty easy time of this.
You have saved us all from a grisly fate. Please accept this orb as a small token of our thanks.
I wouldn't mention the word grizzly when you're around moneybags. He might find that offensive. But then again, fuck moneybags. Such a greedy asshole. So now we got the draklets taken care of. We are now free to pilfer these caves of all their riches. Obviously, watch out for that green goo down there, as that is pretty hazardous. Also, that purple goo. Just watch out for goo in general, because typically goo is bad. Alright, let's go over here and get the flight power. It's gonna need this in this area. Alright, we should be free to grab all the gems around here that we need. Looks like we actually managed to gather everything already. Very good. Alright, so let's get out of these goo caves, and should be ready to move on with our next objective. So we are going to want to head... What I want to do is head up to the top here. So we do need to go past money bags a little bit. As over here where we helped out some of the ice builders, if we head over this way past these bones, there's an area with another side quest we need to take care of. And oh boy, this area has glitched out on me quite a bit before.
I lost my pet snow leopard. I was busy fishing, and when I turned around, he was gone. I hope George didn't get eaten by the draklets.
So now we gotta help out this guy's pet snow leopard. So yeah, I have had this mission glitch out on me a couple times, so hopefully we're not going to experience that here today. But yep, George the snow leopard is going to be wandering around over here. Just gotta follow him and then see what we're able to do in order to get him to follow us. Also, we're able to acquire all of the gems that we need. Hey, come back here, George. So I'm just gonna follow him and then we will be able to figure out what to do. Oh yeah, he will go over to these pools of ice where the salmon are. Just need to wait and blast the fish to knock him down. So yeah, turns out George was just hungry. So we gotta feed George so that he'll be ready to go back to his master. Honestly, not that bad of a mission, but like I said before, it has glitched out on me before, so hopefully we can avoid that. Also, I really love the feel of this area. It just gives me Ice Age vibes. If you have seen that particular series of movies, I used to watch them quite a bit when I was younger, and honestly, I feel that the first Ice Age movie still holds up pretty well. Well, maybe not visually, but I don't know, I like the characters and the story they have there. So now that we fed George, he should be ready to follow us back to his owner. So let's just make our way over and we should be good. Come on, kitty. It's making me a little nostalgic to our old cat that we used to have at my mom's place, who sadly isn't with us anymore. He's such a sweet thing. Love the little goober.
You found George. I'm so glad he's safe. I'll be sure to pay more attention to him from now on. All I have with me is this round, shiny thing I caught while I was fishing. You could have it if you like.
So by helping out Talk, reunite him with his pet, we get another orb. And that should be the last thing we need in this area. Yep, we got all the orbs, which means we are done here. Alright, a pretty good run of the Crystal Glacier, all things considered. So it's time for us to return home. Idiots, all of them. So with that area taken care of, what are we gonna do next? We basically have every level here in the Autumn Plains open to us, though there are some I could recommend going to before others. So at the moment, I believe, should be good to go to the Skelos Badlands. I don't think there's any big restrictions we need to worry about here. So let's just dive on in. Wow, what an asshole. So welcome to the Skelos Badlands.
Hey, Dragon. I hear you're pretty tough.
I bet my cousin Glug you wouldn't be able to make it through the Badlands without getting singed.
We'll see about that. So the Badlands here, we got ourselves a lava area. So we got a lot of different things we can do around here to help out the cavemen. So yeah, this area definitely has quite a few of these cave folk to deal with. Also, that guy has a camera. That does not seem appropriate for a caveman to have, but who am I to tell? We've got ourselves these fire guys we also got to take care of, as well as those flying saber-toothed cat monsters. So obviously this area is themed around fire, and we got to be careful with some of the guys we'll be seeing around here, as they obviously have a lot of different fire attacks we got to worry about. Also have some projectiles we can wield, which is obviously going to be nice for us. Definitely useful for taking care of some of the guys over here, like this lizard that has a bone in it. Simply blast that guy to collect the bone. So we're also going to need to collect bones while exploring through this area, so definitely want to keep that in mind. Also, I know we don't have to do it now, but we can break this sucker open in order to get the tasty jewels inside. And we got ourselves another thing we can reach over here if I can properly get on this platform.
Spyro, our village is being overrun by lava lizards. Can you get rid of them before they eat my little buddies? I'll lower the bridge for you so you can get over there.
Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a tricky mission. We got to protect the cave people from the lava lizards. They will naturally hatch out of the eggs, and we got to be sure to kill them very quickly. Watch out whenever these guys appear, pay attention to where they show up, and you should be good. Oh, there's another one. So the lava lizards will pop up in the same order each time.
Well,
so as long as you keep that in mind, you should be
this
good.
Shiny thing we found to aid your journey.
So by helping out Lumpy, we get ourselves an orb. But we're not done here quite yet.
Uh-oh, it looks like more lizard eggs are dropping down. Are you ready for another challenge?
So now we got ourselves an even harder challenge here, as we got more lizards to take care of. So definitely want to be careful here. Oh, there's one. Let's take care of that guy, this guy, and we got one more to take care of. Should be coming up right over here. There you go.
Thank you for helping us again, Spyro. You deserve another shiny thing. I was going to use it as a nightlight.
And with that, we were able to save the cavemen from the evil lava lizards. I mean, other creatures have to eat too, but, you know, in this instance, gotta be on the side of the cavemen. Alright, so we can head into this cave. I really love just the bone archway over here, made up of different bony ribs. Just gives this area just such a cool appearance. Yeah, definitely a very cool area to explore visually. Definitely love the aesthetic here, how this very prehistoric world full of all of these primal monsters that we gotta deal with. Definitely a cool setting, even though it's red hot from all this lava. We got ourselves a very sizable thing we need to get here. We need to kill 16 enemies to be able to access that. So we'll definitely want to remember you for later. So we got a pretty tricky guy to get over here. We can blast open those in order to get at him. Very good. And then want to make our way over here to this area. Take care of that guy in a little bit, but for now, yeah, with these guys, what you are intended to do is to swallow these stones and then use them to be able to strike at the enemies from a distance. However, since we have Super Flame, we don't need to worry too much about that. Take that, buddy. And now we got ourselves a new power we can use here, the shield. This grants us invulnerability for a short amount of time, allowing us to access areas that we previously could not. Definitely very useful in this area since we have so much lava we gotta work around here. So yeah, definitely take good advantage of this power, as it is instrumental to getting through some of these challenges. Blast this guy, please, and grab your bone. Okay, that's actually sounding a little inappropriate, but you know what I mean. We're grabbing actual bones. It's nothing dirty, I swear. Grab this shield, and we can grab these gems hiding in the lava. Yeah, I would not want to be the kind of person who tries to grab these collectibles without this power. Otherwise, that would be nasty.
I'm so sad. Those pesky lava toads have stolen all my friend's bones. If you help me put them back together again, it'd sure be more fun.
So we gotta help Uga here collect bones in order to repair his skeleton buddy. Oh boy, this particular NPC. So you want to go all over this area, take care of the lava toads, and gather up the bones. But first, I want to talk to you.
Excellent. You made it through the Badlands. I knew I'd win that bet. My cousin Gronk is a fool to bet against a dragon. Take this talisman for helping me out.
I yabba dabba will. Sorry, that was a little awkward to say. So we managed to take care of that. And now we have this thing. So if we hit that urn with the question mark, that will cause it to warp to a new area. And basically what we gotta do is follow the urn to wherever it is hiding, and we want to blast it a couple times so that we're able to take care of this objective. It's certainly an interesting little mission here. It's really not too bad. It's just going to involve us backtracking through quite a few different areas to complete this objective. I believe over here we want to glide over to this side there. Very good. And then we can grab that pink gem right there. Very nice. I believe we want to go back over here in order to grab that urn. So that will teleport you over that way. It's going to be a bit earlier into the level. So yeah, we're definitely seeing here a lot of the different... just another objective that's going to take us all throughout this area. And now that we have the super armor over here, we can go this way.
Thank you, Spyro. Now I can put my friend back together. Please take this as a token of my appreciation. A fairy left it with me a little while ago.
So by gathering up all the bones from the lava toads, we are able to get yet another orb. And... the skeleton is flossing! Look at this guy! Quite impressive, wouldn't you say? Yep, he'll just do that funky little dance here now. It's quite the ridiculous thing here, I must say. But, yeah. Even though we've completed that, we are still not done with this area. Oh, there's the rocket we needed to hit before. So yeah, that is the one we need to hit to be able to get one of the things here. And we're able to take care of that skill point. Whatever that was. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, we hit that rocket, and that is what destroys that over there. So now we've taken care of that. We should be good to continue our objective here in the Badlands by striking at this urn. Just gotta hit it a few more times and then we should be done here. So we got this guy over here, getting ourselves a ton of gems. Very, very good. Now, we're still missing a couple gems before we're done here, and I have a pretty good idea on where they are. So we head back into this area with our super armor. We can grab these guys over here, and those are the last of the gems we need here. So we have now completed the Skelos Badlands. It's very nice that we're able to complete yet another area in our adventure here today. Let's head through the return portal, and we'll be done here. Oh, I got an achievement for getting through this level without touching the lava. Quite nice. Huh, this is gonna go up on RockTube. Aw, man. So with that taken care of, we managed to gather everything we needed in that level. And we are just over an hour and a half into this session, so I think we're actually going to call it here. We still have a lot of levels to do in this area, but trust me, we still have a lot more to get done, and we'll take care of that very soon. I actually have a good amount of days off here, so I'll try to get in some more streams coming up later this week. So, thank you for joining me here today in this stream session, and I will see you all again real soon as we continue to take on the levels here in the Autumn Plains. Until next time, have a good day, and take care.